Beautiful black women, let's get into it. So I don't know if anyone saw that Thandie Newton clip. I'm going to play it right now because it needs to be discussed.
I've wanted so desperately to apologize every day to darker skinned actresses, to say, I'm sorry that I'm the one chosen. My mama looks like you. My mum looks like you. And it's been very painful to have women that look like my mum feel like I'm not representing them, that I'm taking from them, taking their men, taking their work, taking their truth. I didn't mean to, you know.
First of all, Thandie. Here's what you really are saying. And I know you were being very inarticulate, so I understand that you probably aren't really understanding the blackness at all because you've disassociated from it for so long. And that's understandable. But here's what you're saying. Listen, you darkies. I'm sorry. My mama looks like you. She's dark and crispy and she's just so dark. And I've tried to understand her crispiness. I've tried to understand your crispiness. But I've lived my entire life as a white woman. I tried. I asked them to put mud on my face so I could look as dark as you, but I couldn't get them to do it. Please forgive me. I don't know how to play a black woman. I just don't. I don't know you people. I really don't even want to affiliate with you. I hate you, but I tried so hard to understand your crispiness and your dark way. So I really can't understand. How you don't understand that I'm better than you. You're dark. You're like midnight. I mean, you're crispy. I don't want to be crispy. I just don't want to be dark. I don't want to end up like my mom. So they picked me. Okay? They told me they didn't want a crispy person. I knew it. I said, you know what? I don't want a crispy person either. I don't like them. So please, don't be mad at me for being a white woman. I'm trying to find the commonality amongst us. And because I'm chosen and you're not, because you're burnt and you're dark and you're crispy like dark chocolate, I just don't understand how you could be mean to me. I didn't make you a crispy, charcoal, burnt piece of shit. I'm sorry. For real, y'all. Thandie. As I said earlier, I think you're completely inarticulate, and that was part of the problem why your message came across so condescending and disrespectful. And I know you thought that you were affiliating with blackness and that you were associating with blackness and that you were being respectful and you were understanding. But you were none of those things. Your classism, elitism, and colorism came out in the things that you were saying. Your message was to remind black women, you're not on the same playing field as I am. I'm above you. I am chosen. You are not. Don't be mad at me because you look as crispy as my mom. I didn't choose my mom. And Hollywood isn't choosing you. And then you had the audacity to pretend like you were crying. What were you even crying about? The time that you actually cried did not even make any sense. Were you crying because you had a black mom? Because the time that you started crying was when you started talking about having a mom that looked like us. Are you ashamed of your blackness? And then on top of it, you had the audacity to say, they're accusing me of taking their men. When did a black woman accuse you of taking their men? And notice how you said their men? Because you wanted to remind black people again, I'm not one of you. Remember that. But when did a black person ever accuse you of taking their men when you date white men? You've been with a white man for like 20 years. So what black men are they accusing you of taking? See, this is the problem. And this is what I love the fact that she did this, because this actually illuminated the issues that we've been talking about for so long. The problem here is that Thandie, you actually believe that you are more qualified because you are light-skinned. You believe that you're more qualified than a dark-skinned woman simply and merely not based on merit, but because you have light skin. Because you are closer to whiteness. That is why you think you are superior to us. You're telling black women you are inferior. That's what you were saying. And you didn't even recognize that you were saying it because it's ingrained in you. It's innate in you. That self-hatred is innate in you. And I'm not even saying anything about you being mixed or biracial, because that's obviously not a choice. But it was a choice for you to get on there as a biracial person and tell black women that we just don't meet the standards. That even when they want to give a full black female role, whether it's a light-skinned person, brown-skinned person, dark-skinned person, they give it to you, who doesn't even identify as black. And you made it abundantly clear throughout your message that you don't identify as black. So what qualifies you to play a black person's role? What qualifies you to do that? See, what we need to be doing is thinking about how we are going to disassociate ourselves from Hollywood and create our own industries where the representation looks like the people that the story is about. And there are a whole bunch of movies on Netflix, Hulu, all these other platforms that we aren't even watching. We don't watch those movies. We want to watch the movie that's universally created by white people. If we decided that, no, we're going to support our own people, support people that look like us, support movies that represent us, there are a ton of them we could be watching. And then we wouldn't even care about comments like this because we're not checking for your industry. Thandie? And don't get it twisted, Thandie. You don't own that industry. A white person is giving you those positions. You don't own it. So while you're sitting there talking about being chosen, congratulations that you got chosen to be in an industry that you don't control and nor do you dominate. But if you thought that you were going to sit here and talk greasy about black women and somehow show that you have no affiliation with blackness and that somehow you are qualified to take positions that should be going to us, and in the same breath, pretend as though you are sympathetic to the plight of a black woman in America, you are so sadly delusional. And I'll tell you this, what Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Girl, I believe you. You hate your blackness. You don't like black women. You don't respect black women. You think you're better than black women. You think you're more deserving than black women. You want to be white. So stay there and be there. And keep our names out of your mouth. But one thing you can assure yourself is that my black ass won't be watching anything you do. And that is the only guarantee that came out of this conversation. You will never catch me watching anything you do. Because number one, you show me you're unqualified. Beautiful black women, stay safe, blessed, and empowered. Join us again next time. Yeah, no, no.